so first question that you want me to do is question 20. Having a look at it, there's 3 parts to it. There's nothing that can be factorized out first. Like in the last video you saw that sometimes you needed to factorize out something to allow you have access to the quadratic part. Here there's an x squared, there's an x, there's a normal number. It's going to be a quadratic. It's just straightforward factorization, and there's nothing to take out first. So my guide number will be 15 times minus 6. So it's quite a large one, so the guide number is minus 90. But I'm looking for I'm looking for plus x, so that kind of narrows down what it's going to be. And oftentimes you'll find that when the guide number is quite big, if you look at the middle term, the number that you're looking for, that'll give you a little bit of guidance. So minus 90, well, 10 and 9 are the factors, and that will work for me. So it'll either be plus 10 and minus 9, or minus 10 and plus 9. I know in this instance I want a plus 1 in the middle, so I'll use 10 minus 9. Having a look at that now, straight away you should be starting to spot these things. The last 2 terms of the new line both have minuses in them. You know you're going to take that minus out, so you know then that that's going to alter the bracket on the inside. It's going to make it a plus. Take out 5x to start with. Be 3x plus 2. Take out minus 3. And this is what I'm talking about there, inside that plus 2 at the end. And you're finished. It's factorized. Next question is question 26. So you're having a look at this question. Sometimes it can be hard to see where it might go. A good idea though is always factorize out whatever you can to start with. And just in case, because I see the 50 and I see the fact that the second term has an a squared in it. And when I see the 50, well, if I half that I see 25, and if I half 32 I see 16. And both of those kind of indicate to me that it might go to the difference of 2 squares. So it's worth having a look. So you take out 2 at first, you'll be left with 25 minus 16a squared. And now you can see that what's inside the brackets can be factorized with the difference of 2 squares. And strictly speaking, that 5 should be in a bracket as well. So it'll be 2. The 2 just continues to drop down. It'll be first plus second, first minus second. So 5 plus 4a. And you're finished. Next question is 30. So again, as you look across that, you get an indication that maybe there's a quadratic in there that could be factorized, but clearly what's stopping you is that there's extra variables in there. So a good thing to try is, can you factorize those out? Well, yes, you probably can. Certainly the q will come out, and you can make the quadratic that's going to appear even easier if you, instead of just the highest factor there that you could take out is 3 as well. So you'll be left with 4x squared, and do this bit carefully. So I'm just going to take that up here. So the 3q can be ignored now, so long as you just drop it down each time. The only bit I'm interested in is this quadratic in here. The guide number is 12. 1 and 12 won't work. 2 and 6 will. Again, 3q drops down. I think the other day we put in some square brackets here. Remember, square brackets, no problem using them. So 2x plus 1, 3. Then just to finish it off, and you're done. Don't forget, lads, at the end of a test or the end of an exam or whatever, if you have time, you can always just multiply that back out and you'll know straight away whether you've made an error or not. Again, I suppose what maybe somebody's saying, those square brackets can stay in there. You're not doing anything wrong by leaving them in, so they can stay in or they can stay out. It's up to you. What was that? That was 30, so now 33. Okay, so having a look at this, different people will approach this different ways. Okay, you are asked to factorize it, and in fact the question is quite specific. It does say remove the brackets and simplify it. Now that's the way we're going to do it, but what I'd like you to see is that this is actually the difference of two squares, and that to make the question very quick for yourselves, you could just say y minus 2 plus 4, so that's first plus second, y minus 2 minus 4, that's first minus second. That would be a very quick and tidy, nice way of doing it. Okay? Now what I'm going to do in the next page, I am going to multiply out the brackets because I think that's what the vast majority of you will do. Okay? Can I move on? I just see some of you writing. Okay? Alright, I'll go back to it if needs be. So just to do the question the way a lot of you will do it. So, squaring out the y minus 2, the usual way. I'm going to, hopefully at this stage, you'll know that you definitely can't just square the y and square the minus 2. You're down to a nice simple quadratic and you're going to factorize it. Guide number, whatever, I think 6 and 2 minus 6 and 2. Again, if you're stuck, so I'm just doing that very quickly. If you're stuck, write down the guide number, write out the factors, work your way through the process. And just for the sake of it, if you just go back and have a look at the answer to the other way that I did it the first way, see it there? It's the exact same. Okay, so it'll work both ways. Remember, multiplication is commutative, so it doesn't matter that the brackets are reversed, so long as everything in the brackets is the same. Okay, that's 33, now 34. Uh, 2x plus 1 all squared. So again, lads, I don't know if you can spot it, it's the difference of two squares, so it could be done that way. I'm not going to do it that way, I'll write it out. This bit here that I'm about to write, this is probably one of the most, I think of everything that will be done in this video, this is the most important part. Okay? Because I still have leave inserts that get this wrong. How to deal with that minus and those two brackets being multiplied. Okay? The way to do it is multiply the brackets and ignore the minus. Don't multiply the minus in first. Leave it on the outside. deal with the brackets as if it wasn't there, and then multiply in. So adding those 2x and 2x is 4x. You'll be left with minus x squared, minus 3x, and minus 9. And lads, just to move things along, I'm going to take it that you've enough examples of the guide number method now. For a lot of you, it will have been starting that question that will have been the problem, not necessarily the doing of the quadratic. Okay, 35. Okay, I don't know if you can spot this here, but this is actually just a really big quadratic, a really awkward looking quadratic. And the way I'll show, I'm not going to do it here, I just want you to see the pattern. I'm not going to do it out this way, I just want you to see the pattern. What I'm going to do is I'm going to let y, for argument's sake, equal to x minus 1. So wherever I see x minus 1, I'm going to put in y. So that's obviously there, so I'll have a y squared minus 2 times, and there's 1 there as well, so that'll be a y minus 15. It's really just a quadratic. Okay. Now I'm not going to finish it out or show you how to proceed that way, but I do want you to start spotting these things. Okay. Alright, so let's look at it how you probably normally have tackled it. X minus 1, minus 2 times x minus 1 minus 15. As you definitely won't try and factorize out the x minus 1 because there's no x minus 1 in the last term, so just be aware of that. You're just going to multiply everything out. Watch out for the signs there, the plus 2. Add everything up, x squared, what have we got? Minus 2x must be minus 4x. 1 and 2 is 3, minus 12. Okay? And again, lads, you can finish that and check your answer then yourselves. I take it that you've enough examples. Okay, where are we now? Question 38. So hopefully maybe you're looking at that now with fresh eyes and you're saying, yeah, I could do that with the difference of 2 squares. If you can't, no problem, multiply out the brackets. There's that the second part of that expression there with the minus and the 2 brackets. So hopefully now you know how to deal with that. So you can see a lot of this will cancel out for me. I'll be left with 3p squared, there's another p squared, so that's minus p squared. Even if you need to group them, sometimes that'll happen. Plus q squared minus 9q squared. So what have we got there? 2p squared minus 8q squared. Now as I am going to finish this off because you are asked to factorize it. And maybe you're looking at it and you might be able to see that there's a chance that maybe there's a difference of 2 squares in there. But we can't, you know, we've know 2 isn't a perfect squared number and 8 isn't a perfect squared number. But if I have the 2 of them, if I factorize out 2, I'd be left with p squared minus 4q squared. And that is factorizable with the difference of 2 squares. So again, how you set about doing this with brackets and whatnot, that's your own business. I'll stick in a square bracket, so p plus 2q, p minus 2q, and then I'm just going to drop the square brackets after that. No need to put in any pluses or minuses or anything like that where the brackets have dropped. All the brackets are doing is multiplying everything. Okay? So that's question 38. 39. I just put down in the corner. So, sorry, x plus 2y all squared and let's hopefully just so that we're clear, just in case people are a little bit confused. This first part, what I'm doing is I'm just using my arches like I usually do. Okay? Just in case you're a little bit unclear as to what I'm doing there. So add up the x squared, so you'll have 2x squared. Notice that every now and again I just skip a line, just to give myself a little bit of space. Okay? What else so x squared and x squared, we've got a minus 4y squared. Minus 4 plus 4, so that's actually gone. Plus 4xy. As you're asked to factorise it, so take out the 2x. And you're completely finished then. Okay. Last question. Question 40. As I'm going to do this the quick way, and you should try and do it the long way yourselves to make sure you're getting it right. Strictly speaking, this is 2x all squared minus x minus 1 all squared. So it's the difference of two squares, so it's first plus second. And first minus second. Of course, watch how I'm doing the brackets there. So, like I say, now you don't have to be able to do it this way, but certainly make sure you can write it out the long way. 3x minus 1, no problem there. 2x minus x, and of course that minus goes into both, so that becomes a plus 1. So do that out the long way yourself. So square out the brackets or do whatever you need to do. Watch out for the minus up at the top of the question, and just make sure that this is the answer that you're getting. Okay, well done.